No, there's something wrong. I shouldn't have lost. How could I have lost? Although his abilities are abnormal, I'm stronger than him. But I really did lose. There must be something wrong. Ah. So that's it. I understand. I understand everything. There's a traitor in Blizzard City. Someone leaked my abilities. When he heard Deng Shintong say this sentence with his own mouth, Zhang Yi's hand holding the cup involuntarily tightened. His sword eyebrows stood upright, and the suspicion in his heart was infinitely magnified. There was really a mole inside Blizzard City? Yang Xinxin's gaze was fixed on the screen, but her expression was unusually calm. But Zhang Yi knew that she was also thinking frantically inside. Bai Li Changqing's expression was as usual, and it was obvious that this was not the first time he had watched the video. Zhang Yi muttered to himself, so, the Blizzard City executives must have seen it too. Zhu Jing has seen it, and so has Deng Yuanbo. They all suspect that Blizzard City has a traitor. Is that why they are so eager to nominate me as the captain of the Tengu? Or are they setting me up to lure out the traitor? No, I can't trust anyone. Not even Zhu Jing. Zhang Yi felt like a headless chicken. As an outsider, he didn't understand the ins and outs. He didn't even know anything about the power struggle between the major factions in Blizzard City. Therefore, he couldn't make any rash comments. However, he had to do his best to avoid getting involved. Zhang Yi quickly gathered his thoughts and continued watching the video. In the video, it was clear that Deng Shintong was already tottering and could no longer hold on. Facing Phoenix Ren, who could come back from the dead, Deng Shintong had no way to counteract him at the moment. However, Phoenix Ren seemed to know everything about his abilities and even the way he attacked. In the end, as his strength failed him, he collapsed among the ruins. His weak voice came through. Listen. I, cough cough. Know his abilities. He can see the future and see the way I attack. Remember, be careful of this. You have to use the law of cause and effect against him. In the image, a huge flaming fist smashed towards his face. Let Zhang Yi. Deng Shintong left those last 3 words, and then the image was completely engulfed in white light. Everyone knows that that was the bomb used by a captain-level figure when they choose to blow themselves up. The video footage of Deng Shintong ended here. Zhang Yi crossed his arms in front of him and hung his head in deep thought. The last image left by Deng Shintong revealed too much information. Can Phoenix Ren see through Deng Shintong's future? This ability, combined with the attribute of immortality, is simply despairing. In his last sentence, let Zhang Yi. An incomplete sentence with only 3 words, but it pushed Zhang Yi to the front of the Blizzard City hierarchy. The law of cause and effect. Zhang Yi understood the meaning of these words in his heart. If he had guessed correctly, there was a very powerful law of cause and effect present in Zhang Yi's body. It could even reverse the cycle of life and death. At one point, he had thought that the reason he was able to come back from the dead was because he had awakened a special supernatural ability. It was just that he had not yet discovered it. Zhang Yi had a sudden urge. Should I go to the Deng family and ask for their help in the future? At this time, Bai Li Changqing's voice echoed in his ears. After watching it, what did you gain? Zhang Yi turned his head and looked at him, smiling faintly. The gains are too great. I didn't expect the opponent to be such a nuisance. Bai Li Changqing said, however, Deng Shintong mentioned at the end that you could deal with him. He didn't finish talking, so don't speculate. Bai Li Changqing laughed, however, and said, 4 of the 5 people who died in the Eclipse Moon formation were killed by you. It is now basically certain that the opponent has a mutant who can predict the future. But you have influenced the cause and effect, which proves that you are their nemesis. Zhang Yi said, but that alone is not enough. How can you win if you can't kill them? Bai Li Changqing asked, can you not seal him in your dimensional space? Zhang Yi said, dimensional space does not have the ability to actively collect living things. It is driven by thoughts. My thoughts are only effective on inanimate objects. As for living people, unless they are willing to enter dimensional space on their own, they cannot be collected forcibly. Bai Li Changqing slapped his thigh. That's easy. Just smash him up and throw him into dimensional space, and you're done. Zhang Yi gave Bai Li Changqing a deep look. Are you even speaking in complete sentences? Do you think I'm Deng Shintong? Deng Shintong could kill Phoenix Ren dozens of times because he had an incredibly powerful attack. But Zhang Yi was good at defense. It would be difficult for him to kill Phoenix Ren even once. Not to mention Phoenix Ren's ability to predict the opponent's actions, it was hard to say if it would work on Zhang Yi. Just as the two were discussing, Yang Xinxin suddenly spoke up, offering a thought-provoking idea. I remember that when Deng Shintong fought Phoenix Ren, the shrine maiden Mayumi Takeuchi was also there. Zhang Yi and Bai Li Changqing looked at her. So what? Are you saying that she had an impact on the battle? Yang Xinxin bit her pink fingernail. Phoenix Ren's abilities are from the trait system, immortality, regeneration, fire, and superb physical strength. According to our understanding of supernatural abilities, it is impossible for him to have the ability of the time system at the same time. So I guess Mayumi Takeuchi gave him this ability. In other words, if we can get rid of her first, then we can at least reduce Phoenix Ren's combat effectiveness by 30%. This suggestion instantly opened up a new line of thought for Zhang Yi. Indeed, it is a highly probable possibility. After some discussion, the group gained a lot of information from the footage left behind by Deng Shintong. Bai Li Changqing smiled and said, "Actually, you don't need to put too much pressure on yourself. The source of this operation is to block the prediction ability of the Shrine Maiden from Eclipse Moon. As for dealing with Phoenix Ren, there is someone more suitable than you." Zhang Yi's eyes narrowed. You mean Gao Changkong? Bai Li Changqing nodded without hesitation. Gao Changkong's abilities are actually very suitable for dealing with Phoenix Ren. Of course, I can't tell you what his abilities are right now. But if I'm right, he will be the leader of this operation. And you, as before, will be more of a support to him. Bai Li Changqing was a good friend of Gao Changkong's and a fan of his. Combined with his knowledge of Gao Changkong's abilities and his partial knowledge of Zhang Yi's abilities, he was convinced that headquarters would let Gao Changkong lead the next mission to eradicate the Eclipse Moon. Zhang Yi gazed off into the distance without refuting Bai Li Changqing's words. Theoretically, there was nothing wrong with what Bai Li Changqing said. But Bai Li Changqing was, after all, just a soldier, and he didn't understand anything about power struggles. Gao Changkong did have better combat training and command capabilities than Zhang Yi. However, his status meant that he could not be the leader of this operation. To achieve great success and thereby threaten the leadership is the greatest taboo for subordinates throughout the ages. To put it bluntly, even if Gao Changkong does the most, Blizzard City will focus on praising Zhang Yi's achievements, not his. We'll see. Zhang Yi slapped his thigh. By the way, I'm now the captain of the Tengu squad, so can I get captain-level weapons and equipment? He pointed his finger at Yang Xinxin. I also have 3 helpers by my side. They will also be temporarily incorporated into the Tengu squad, and I have already spoken to Commander Zhu about this. So they also need to receive equipment. Bai Li Changqing nodded. No problem. Just let me know what equipment you need, and I will have someone deliver it. Zhang Yi's smile grew wider and wider at the corner of his mouth. He shook his head. No, we'd better go there ourselves. After all, I need more weapons. Bai Li Changqing's eyes slowly widened as he looked at Zhang Yi, who was smiling strangely, as if he had guessed what the guy was going to do. Not long after, Zhu Zheng, who was still working in the office, received a report from the quartermaster. What? Zhang Yi collected a large quantity of weapons? An extremely large quantity? Commander Zhu, he used his supernatural powers of space to collect a large quantity of weapons. The quantity is a bit ridiculous. The quartermaster whispered in the corner, unable to help but turn his head to look inside the warehouse at Zhang Yi, who was doing some serious shopping. This is an emergency, Commander Zhu, he said in tears. After so many years as a quartermaster, this was the first time he had encountered such a way of collecting supplies. It was as if he were a woman shopping at a discount supermarket. Zhu Jing thought about it and shook his head with a smile. This kid really lives by the spirit of anyone who doesn't take advantage of a bargain is a bastard. Never mind, just give him as much as he needs. After all, they were just ordinary hot weapons, and in the end times, the power of these weapons had been greatly weakened. Moreover, they weren't difficult to make, all you needed was iron and gunpowder, and you could even say that there was an endless supply of them. The quartermaster said to Zhang Yi. There are also heavy machine guns over here. Take a look. Zhang Yi waved his hand, and told him with a smile. Great. I'll take all of it.